some. Hey, what you doing? You waiting for a little video here? Who's this? Who's on? Who you watching? Huh? Hey. Hey. Hey, I'm talking to you. Respond. Okay. That's too much. A little less. I just checked out some cheap graphics cards. If you want to check that, look here. But otherwise, here we are with motherboards and CPU combo. I want to go through a few of these, point out some irregularities, and point out what maybe you should be looking for. Whoa, this is actually, I like it. I already like it. This is the best deal of today. Oh, okay, well it's $50, and it has an i3 4330, 8 gigs of memory, and a B85 motherboard. So not great by any means, but the coolest part about it is being in a tiny computer. You'll get the very small housing with it for free. Neat. Okay, 15 hours. You guys probably, well, you'll be too late to snag this one as well. It's claimed to be an esports gaming, entry-level PC parts, check description. Okay, I'll do that. You didn't even fully clean off the processor, so that's some good old grade A photography. Plus, I can see your camera is moving a little bit there. A single stick of memory, that's not ideal. And you get a GT 740. All right, well, 4 gigs of GDDR5. Can they have 4 gigs of GDDR5? I don't think so. They can potentially have 4 gigs of GDDR5. Though I'd even say it's more likely DDR3. $80. No, it could be spent elsewhere in a better way. Z77, 32 gigs of memory. That's pretty cool, and a GTX 460. The best thing about this is the custom IO shield. Actually, I've seen these. This is a real thing. So if you're too much of a bleep to just not use an IO shield, you can get these like little mesh things and cut out for the ports yourself. It's kind of cool. It adds for like some personalization, but it just looks janky. Like you might as well make the rest of your computer out of cardboard. TBH. Okay, the MSI version of CPU-Z, mad respect. All right, this is equivalent to a 2600, maybe even a 2600K. I don't know if you can overclock this chip, this Xeon, potentially, but it's a good board. One of the best chips you can put in here, essentially, which supports ECC. Don't know what kind of memory this has. It does in fact have 32 gigs of 1600 DDR3. I do like the board, even though for a Z770, my bad, a Z77, there's only a 4-pin UPS connector, which I would imagine there'd be an 8-pin. Maybe there wasn't that big of an issue about CPUs drawing too much power or whatever. For $60, if you specifically want a Z77 motherboard and 32 gigs of DDR3, because that's really what you're getting, I guess this would be considered a better entry-level esports gaming computer than the other one. It's a better price, and it's just better. While single core may not be up to speed with the i5 4440 that was in the other computer, motherboard's better, and processor has more multitasking performance, and graphics card, even though less video memory, it'll probably outperform it, but actually I don't know. Either way, the graphics card on either one of those deals was not very good. Hey, this is not bad. Okay, ending in a couple days. So we have, 16 gigs of DDR3 1600, and this is a Sabertooth. Like one of the best motherboards for AM3, AM3 Plus. AMD's best 6-core Phenom 2. Okay, yeah, this is the 1100T. This is actually pretty cool. So these actually outperformed FX initially. These don't clock as high as FX does. I do believe single core wise they outperformed FX, and this is AMD's best from that time period. Again, this is like 2009, so this isn't very fast stuff, but hey, for $55, if you're trying to complete your collection, geez, I wish I'd actually, the computer I have for Phenom 2, I do have a 6-core Phenom, but it's the 1055T. It is only 8 gigs of memory and not as good of a board. This is a compelling deal, because I believe you could put an FX processor in here. Not that that would be good either. Just saying. Whoa, what is this? Sapphire Pure. A75, 4 gigs of memory. A6 3600. So I believe this is their AMD's... Is this their first generation of APUs? This might be a quad-core. Sapphire. I didn't know Sapphire made motherboards. Is that MSATA? Holy crap, I think that's MSATA. Hey, $25. This is actually cool. I like it. I mean, you can get a better processor for this. Not that it's going to be good no matter what you put in this motherboard. But I like this for the motherboard. I would probably say this is probably one of the better FM1 boards. Actually, I don't know how it performs, how it overclocks, anything like that. And the feature set doesn't look too crazy. Dual graphics support, hey! But you can potentially put an M-SATA SSD there. It has USB 3.0, so it's not like you're starving for that. I like it. Okay, $50 for Crosshair Formula 4 with another Phenom 2, 8 gigs of RAM. Your memory's in the wrong slots there, bud. A Hyper 212 Evo. So this is probably the best motherboard you can get for this socket. I wonder if this is AM3 Plus as well. This is a 1055T, so this is a 6-core. This is the same one I have. So $50, I mean, unless you're specifically looking for this, I think the other one was actually a better deal, even. $55. I don't know, the motherboards, I'm sure, are very similar. I would actually say this is a better board than the Sabertooth. But this one comes with more memory and a better processor overall. So that's probably a better deal. But either one, they might end in similar prices after the bidding. So I have a slightly better motherboard than this, and this is a first gen FX, or not the original FX, but original FX 8000 series. I forget if it's bulldozer or excavator, whatever, doesn't matter. But they're all shit. Small note, this is labeled as bare bones kit. It's also not a good price at all compared to the other ones we just looked at. Single owner, me. I hope you find somebody, man. I feel for you. It's labeled as bare bones kit. Bare bones typically refers to you get the case, you get the motherboard, and you get the power supply, and all you have to add is your own processor, memory, storage, graphics. That's typically bare bones. This is the other way around. You have everything here, and you just gotta find yourself a case and power supply, storage, and graphics card. Not that it's a small nitpick. It doesn't matter. Price is bad though. That's what you should take away from that. Whoa, okay, ends in 6 days, but okay, this price will definitely go up. Holy crap, this is actually really good. So Z490 with how much memory? 32 gigs and a 10600K with cooler? Wait, really? Oh, nice. So 10 series has an advantage, even though it's still on 14 nanometer and essentially the same as Skylake, but with more cores and stuff, and maybe more efficient, even though they're like, were they pumping more power into them at this point? I don't know. Main difference with this socket, as well as Z590 or whatever, the 10 series i9 went up to 10 cores, while after this, even the 11th gen, they went back down to 8. Not that this is that i9 or anything, and not that you should put one of those in this. I mean, hey, if you get a better deal on one of those than the 11th gen i9, then sure. Overall, though, this is a very good computer. Currently a good price, but once this hits probably beyond $200, I think $200 would be a really good deal, because you're getting the motherboard, processor, RAM, like that's at least $300, probably more for each of these parts, because they're not entry level by any means. $10 for a crap processor. You want a bad processor? $10. There you go. 7 processors. Okay, for right now, for $90, $95 ends in half an hour, but this will go over $100. All right, so we have these are all i3s. 2 7100s, 4 6100Ts, and a 6100. Well, hey, they're only like $15 each. Not terrible if you have 7 motherboards to put these in. I shouldn't have to say this, but $75 for 3570K is an awful deal. They're like $20. $3600 for $70. That's not terrible. It's on the edge though, because you can probably get a 3800 for $100, or 5600 for $100. That'd be nice too. 8100 for 65. Yeah, you're joking. Ryzen 3 1200. This is an AE, not an AF. There'll be 35. 3 hours left. Probably 40 after bidding. That's not an amazing deal. Single core is lackluster still. What? A 4600 plus for $100? Really? No. No. Mm-mm. Not a chance. 2600 for $90? Heck no. A 95. Oh, read description. Crap, is it dead? Okay, so this guy made somebody mad. There is this horrid person that continuously tries to sabotage my listings. eBay won't help. Oh no, maybe you did something. I don't know. Usually it doesn't come from nothing. Dang. Well, currently, that's a good deal. $25 for a 9500. Hey, maybe if you have a board for it. Maybe you have an 8100 and you want to upgrade, and that'd be a decent upgrade. 5500 for $80. No, I mean people are bidding on it, but you can get a better deal. Actually, a 5500. Okay, 5500 is 6-core 12 thread. The only difference, Oh, it's 16 megs of cache instead of 32. I mean, that's probably okay. I actually don't know if there's a big performance difference. That'd be interesting to see though. However, these G chips, the APUs, they only have 16 megs of memory too, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue. But 80 bucks, maybe that's like the maximum it should go. 2600X though, that is a bad deal for 100 bucks. Hey, but here's a 3700X, 80 bucks. Those are only a good deal up to like 90 or $100. 1600 AF, so this is essentially a 2600, just slightly lower clock speeds, which can be overclocked. Right now for $40, if it stays here, that's a good price. Maybe up to 50. 2300X, $35. This is probably only good up to $40 maybe. It's not bad, but only 8 megs of cache. Oh no, my cache is low. Again, on 3700X for 110. I know you can do 100. Oh no, what did you do to your 3600? No, please. Don't do it. Ah. Wait, what? Is that it? Just a couple bent pens? Or are there some missing? They look pretty bent. You can only bend metal so much. So it is risky when trying to do that. There is thermal paste and CPU pins. That's not... Oh, one pin is broken. Shoot. Okay, well, I'm assuming it's not a ground pin, otherwise you wouldn't be listing it for parts. But with that many bent pins, have you even tried using it? But what happened to it? Like, how did it get this way? Doesn't make sense. Oh, people are bidding on it though. They're like, oh, maybe I can get it. Because if you look up a diagram, they might be able to figure out which pin it is that is broken. If it's a ground pin, you may be in luck. And by luck, I mean you spent $60 for not nothing. 4670K for 20 bucks, not a bad deal. Gosh, 50 bucks for an i7-980. So this is a first gen Bloomfield processor. Okay, so 6 core, 12 thread, 3.33 gigahertz, 12 megabytes of cache, blah blah. A better deal would be a Xeon for this socket. You can get 1366 Xeons for much cheaper, like 10-15 bucks, and they can overclock and outperform. Will compete with this, be just as fast, even though this can probably more easily get to 3 gigahertz or 4 gigahertz. But the Xeons support ECC. Ooh, but they're both incredibly inefficient. That is the problem. Wow, Jesus, 3000 Gs. Yeah, so these are overpriced for no reason. This is almost 60 bucks for a dual core, 4 thread. I think they MSRP'd for like 35 bucks, so that's just weird. Gosh, 3400G for 50 bucks. Are they really going for that? Well, as long as you don't plan to really add a graphics card, if you just want like a super low power, tiny like emulation machine or something. Or if you want like a LGA 775 system for whatever reason, instead of a Q6600, get like a Q9400. They're better. 10 bucks. Easy. Now a Q9550, not that much faster, and yet this one's $30. No thanks. 4690K, that's better than 4670K, and this one's only 20 bucks, and in 2 days. Maybe you have time, maybe you don't. We'll see. 6600K for 25 bucks, that'll increase in 2 days, but as long as it stays like 30 bucks, that's not bad. And again, here's a Q6600 for the same price as that Q9400. I wonder which is the better deal. This guy's got some processors, several actually. i3 8100, 9100, R3 3200G, and a 3600. So wow, yeah, these will definitely go up in price, but as long as these, this i3 30 bucks would be a decent deal, 20 or 30. 3200G, same story, 20-30 bucks, maybe 40, and then this 3600 I can see getting to 70 or 80, and then the 8100, that's also 20 or 30 bucks. And a 3400G for hopefully no more than 40. 5600G, holy crap, that's $100. Are they really that expensive? Dang. I'd like a nice little 5700G, but oh well. $15 for a 3570K? Well, if you want the unlocked Ivy Bridge i5, that's how you're gonna get it. Some of these are actually pretty good deals currently. 2 days left, plenty of time for bidding though. If you like looking at old processors and graphics cards with me, perhaps you're wondering how much performance do I actually need? And if you smash like, I'm going to go through and test some older hardware I have and see how well it holds up today. Because you don't need to buy the newest, latest, and greatest stuff. you're going to run into diminishing returns. Well, I guess that stuff might be supported for longer and will have newer features. You may not need USB Type-C or PCIe 4.0 or M.2 even. Regular SATA SSDs are fast as it is. And cheap. Holy crap, and cheap. So Core 2 Quad, P5W DH Deluxe. Something Asus. Core 2 Duo E, not $70. This is 100 Canadian dollars. A10 7800. Weird motherboard. I think this might be like an Asian style rebranded motherboard. But you can grab a fairly cheap graphics card, something used and probably driver supported. Whatever, you go to the Steam page of whatever game you're looking at, and it'll tell you the minimum and recommended requirements. Sometimes those are a little off, a little BS sometimes. I've gotten stuff that was way below the minimum requirements working just fine. Well, not just fine. You gotta tweak some settings, but usually the minimum requirements for games is a little non-legit. I'm gonna look at auctions for ending soonest of SSDs. So wait a minute. Well, read description, that always susses me out. Okay, look at pictures for the write conditions. All right, so okay. They are almost halfway through their life. But as a normal person, unless you have a RAID configuration like this, like these are probably running in a server of some kind, probably stuff that was constantly reading and writing and deleting and over 3 minutes. Holy crap. Well, oh man, $70 for 4 terabytes. That's a really good deal. Ooh, 18 bids. Yeah, this is probably incredibly sought after. Dang. Yes, they've been used up, but I've had a 250 gig SSD for like 10 years, and it's still at like 98% or something. Like, it's not something you have to worry about unless you're constantly writing and deleting stuff on the drive. If as a regular human being, you're probably not using that. Jeez, this is cool. This would be great for a server or something. Gosh, I kind of want that. Here's a Microsoft SSD, blah blah, 256 gig. A regular 1 terabyte for the same price, $70, same as all of these. I don't have the funds though. I couldn't buy it, even if I wanted to. You can typically get 1 terabyte SSDs if you're lucky for like 50 or $60. So this is especially a good deal. I do want to see how much this goes for though. I want to see what happens. What? 512 gig, $100, 1 bid. I don't buy it unless the 860 Pro is somehow like super crazy good for whatever reason. Really? No. I suspect some wrongdoing here. SSD with an RPM. 5400 RPM SSD. Very nice. $20. No. As far as I know, there's no DRAM cache on there. You can get the good Samsung ones though for very cheap. 512 gigs still. $40. That's what I'm seeing a few of these for. That's not awful. $50 for 1 terabyte. All right, it's time to see what happens. I bet this will jump to $100. It's going. Come on, 122. Yeah. How much did it go for? What happened? 130. That's still a good price. Yeah, I was not gonna win that. Here's a 500 gig. Ends in 6 hours, so yeah, these will jump up. But you can typically get 500 gig SSDs for $30-40. Pretty good deal. 1 terabyte for $50-60, pretty good deal. And then 256 gig, which is usually enough. Like I have a ton of 256 gig SSDs. I've got like 5 or 6. They're really good for a Windows install and then like a couple games to test. Usually for like a quick system, I'll boot up. I'll just throw in one of my 256 gig drives and go to town with that. Those are usually plenty big enough. There are ones you have to watch out for, like these Intel ones. I'm not so sure. I did have a 120 gig like old random Intel drive that just died. It wasn't one of these, but it was very similar. Yeah, very similar. So watch out. SSDs can crap out, and if you get them off eBay, they don't have a warranty, and you don't know unless they show you the crystal disk numbers or whatever. You don't know how many writes have been made to it, and you don't know how much life it has left. For the most part, though, you're fine. Again, normal humans usually don't do that much. I've received a few SSDs for really good prices that were like brand new, like had nearly zero writes to them. It was crazy. Crucial MX100. This is fairly old, a 512 gig though. And so yeah, for $25, 17 hours left, I bet this will go to 30 bucks. That'd be a good deal. But I typically look at the 2.5-inch drives because they're more compatible with other systems. Even though they're not as fast, you don't need like 10 gigabytes per second. What are you doing? Yeah, some of these are crazy. You need a compatible board. You need PCIe 4.0. The 600 megabytes a second that a SATA SSD gives, yeah, way slower than these, but it's plenty good. I don't need any more than that, at least not right now, not with what I have or what I do with my computer. Not an issue. But if you get it for a good price, well, more power to you. 250 gig, was this an 850 Evo? 20 bucks. Yes. Yes. Very much. Thanks for watch. Do all the things. Click all the buttons. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm just going to go now. You have yourself a lovely day. I'm hungry. You guys have kept me too long. My time is very important. Time is money. Okay? You know what that means? Huh? You speak money? Huh?